And in our top business story, Dubai has become more innovative over the past year. That's according to analysis by Dubai Chamber of Commerce and Industry. Chamber Chairman Majid Saif Al Khura told delegates at the Innovation Live Summit that the Emirate had moved up to 15th position in its Innovation Index, which measures key indicators in 22 innovative cities around the world. According to local reports, Al Khura stated that the improvement can partly be attributed to the significant increase in funding and investment in innovation-focused initiatives and in the closer collaboration between the public and the private sector. The study also found that there is still a need for businesses to adopt long-term innovation strategies as opposed to just seeing these efforts as a short-term plan to boost profitability. Mr. Al Khura's views were echoed by Her Excellency Reem Al Hashimi, the UAE Minister of International Cooperation and Director General of Expo 2020 Dubai, who said innovation was necessary to help the global economy, highlighting the UAE's innovation strategy launched 2 years ago by the UAE Vice President, Prime Minister and ruler of Dubai, His Highness Sheikh Mohammed bin Rashid Al Maktoum. Tightening liquidity will continue to pose imminent challenges to GCC economies. That's according to a survey of investment professionals in the region. The CFA Society poll revealed that the majority of CFA members agree that shrinking government deposits will result in additional cuts to infrastructure projects in order to realign spending, and this will have negative short-term economic effects. CFA societies in the region believe that reduced funds allocated to infrastructure projects would mean that the construction industry will be affected the most by the liquidity crunch. The survey added that private sector firms, particularly SMEs, will experience greater difficulty in raising capital as the cost of capital will increase and banks are expected to become more selective in their lending patterns. The survey also showed that the UAE has the largest available capital buffers to see out this challenging period and is expected to be the least affected in the Gulf region by the liquidity shortfall. The findings indicated that the bond market will emerge as the leading financing option for the private sector, although they acknowledged that regional debt markets are not yet developed enough to cover financial needs of the economy. The survey showed that 79% of CFA members believed that falling government deposits will lead to further cuts in government spending for infrastructure projects, while 83% said that the increased cost and greater difficulty in raising capital would lead to a decrease in private sector activity. With the UAE and the GCC region boasting mega construction projects worth $2 trillion, industry experts attending the Big Five, the largest construction and building industry exhibition in the region, highlighted that regional countries should aim at need-based infrastructural spending rather than only focusing on iconic projects. During the Excellence in Construction Summit being held on the sidelines of the Big Five exhibition today, representatives of Dubai Economic Council revealed that the value of Dubai's construction projects in the execution and planning stage is expected to reach a record $390.7 billion this year. And even in a low oil price environment, 13.7% of these projects, valued at $53.5 billion, are currently under progress and fast approaching completion stage. With Dubai Expo 2020 only 3 years away and an estimated $18 billion worth of infrastructural spending still in the pipeline, officials are confident that the UAE is on the right track as they believe that infrastructure is one of the key pillars of a modern economy. While stating that the real estate and infrastructure sectors account for a quarter of UAE's GDP, officials also noted that the UAE will continue its policy of investing heavily in infrastructure, including building hospitals, universities, roads, childcare facilities and other leisure entertainment destinations in the future as well.
I think, in terms of innovation and technology, it's the only way for the construction industry to become more productive, more efficient and survive. And so what I mean by that is, when we do in design for whatever buildings, infrastructure, etc., the more we can design earlier and take away from building on site and prefabricate or do modular construction and actually design it with that in mind, then the less labor we will need on site and the more highly productivity. Construction industry is the least efficient industry in the world. Basically, a lot of people standing around waiting for something to be delivered or something to be put up That's an inherent character of the industry, and I think the more we can design and innovate in terms of how we can produce at the factory floor before we get to the site, the better productivity.
The federal government has a long-term plan. By 2030, they want to reduce the oil GDP to 20% by diverting other infrastructure and investments. So, and again, the projects which are happening in Dubai, these are purpose-built projects, yeah, and there is an end user demand for these projects. So the construction, I mean, of course, in 2008 when we had the global downturn and all, I mean, even the Dubai construction industry was also hit, but it sustained. And you see, once upon a time, Dubai was having the most number of tower cranes in the world. This was sometime in 2004, 2005. But still, if you look at the project value, which is being awarded this year and the coming next quarter, the construction need is there. There is an end user need, so construction will happen in Dubai.
More than 3,100 exhibitors are showcasing the latest products and services in 5 key product sectors, including building, interiors and finishes, MEP services and smart building and design technologies. As the UAE population is expected to reach 10 million by 2030 and a majority 80% of the population are expats, officials representing Danube stated that affordable housing is still an untapped market, with this segment accounting for more than 50% of property searches in Dubai.
Our idea of Danube is to have these people who are on salary to have their own property. So we have come out with an affordable housing where we are giving or making properties like Marina and giving at the price of Discovery Garden. Like our studio flat is from 450,000 and the studio flat becomes into a 1-bedroom because of the way we are offering the furniture inside. Then the 1-bedroom becomes 2, which is around 700,000, and we are talking about the 2-bedroom from 1 million dirhams. And the payment facility what we offer to an individual, which makes the salaried person who can afford our property.
The Saudi holy city of Makkah currently has 24,090 rooms in 15 projects under construction, the most in the Middle East. According to SDR's October 2016 pipeline report, Dubai, with 19,687 rooms in 67 hotels, is the only other market in the region to report more than 10,000 more rooms under construction. Regionally, the report showed that there were 158,714 rooms in 554 projects under contract in the Middle East. Under contract data includes projects in the construction, final planning and planning stages, but does not include projects in the unconfirmed stage. The under contract total in the Middle East represents an 11.7% increase in rooms compared with October 2015. Specifically, it is in the construction phase. The Middle East reported 84,477 rooms in 260 hotels, a 9.1% increase in year-over-year comparisons. Last month, a report by JLL said a total of 5,500 hotel rooms have entered the Dubai market since the beginning of the year, indicating the continued momentum in Dubai's hospitality and tourism sector.